Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally, and today I have 4 metal DIYs. Now I'm going to use items I think are fairly easy to find. This is a metal picture frame. I happened to get a box of these for free. And this one has a pink hue, and I'm not sure if that was intentional or if there was some bleed through, but I'm going to start by just taking some white chalk paint and pouncing over primarily the pink to make that go away. That's just personal preference. Now, I'm sure you're not going to find this exact frame, but I do believe that you will have no trouble at all either getting a metal frame and or a wood frame that has a decorative detail like metal. But either way, whatever style that you like, start with a picture frame. I love anything that looks vintage, anything that has that real age to it. So I love this chippy look on this one. That goes with the style of my home. Now, once that's dry, I am going to take a paint inlay and right on the back of the cardboard that was already inside under the glass, coat that with Fusion Clear Glaze because I happen to have gotten a free bottle on the good table at my dump, but you can use polyurethane paint here, and then you spritz with water the paint side of the inlay and lay it into glaze, the poly or paint, and then you are going to just sort of blot it with a paper towel or press it down with your finger, not around the edges if you can avoid that. That does leave kind of a little bit of a panty line, but if you just kind of do the ink portion of that to make sure that that ink is going to adhere well, let it dry thoroughly. Take that water, spritz it again, blot that back a little, and peel that off. Voila, beautiful. Now, this is so much easier than it appears. It just is, it's beautiful and it's easy. And now I'm going to dry that good because I want to use a couple pieces of scrap transfers that I have in my stash because this signage said bluebells. I looked for anything that sort of had a blue tint to it. I only found one that I really liked here, and I had to cut it in half and then cut that in half again to sort of make it look a little like it is wrapping around that word. And again, this could be anything. If you love birds, you could put a bird in a frame. You could do a decoupage napkin and put something on top of that. You could use fabric and transfer on fabric beautifully. You can paint that first and then do, roses or whatever goes with the style of your home. But I love to use up the bits and pieces of my scrap transfers, and I'm really trying to do that because they do get older and they can stick to other things, and I don't want to waste that investment, and I think it's wise to use what we have in our stash whenever we can. I'm just going to take a little distress ink and I'm going to ink up just a little bit around the outside edges to make that look just a little darker on the edging. That's just something that I like. And then I am going to also add some of the, once I put that in the frame, I'm going to add some antiquing glaze because as pretty as this white frame is, you can't really see the beautiful metal detail. So I'm just taking a little bit of a paper towel and just sort of lightly running over the top of that paint and bringing that out and wiping that back. Now, if that's too dark for you, you can put a clear glaze over the top and it sort of erases a little bit and it pulls back a little more of the glaze, giving you less of that vintage look. But again, I love that look. So that is how this first metal frame came out. And so that is in my dining room right now, where I had a little bit of a blue-gray color on the wall and some of these beautiful dishes that are in this basket. I picked up $20. I think I got an entire set of beautiful blue-gray dishes, and I think that just lovely, lovely, lovely with my dining room wall. It happened to be almost the perfect color. Second DIY, this is just one of those metal envelopes. I think I probably got it at the Goodwill bins, probably $1. Very Christmassy, very red. I am not a fan of red, and so I am going to start with some air dry clay and a mold that I've had in my stash for a couple of years now, so I'm not sure if you could get this exact one, Lily of the Valley, but certainly, molds are a dime a dozen. You can get them in any craft store, Temu, Amazon, IOD, and so whatever, ones that you happen to have. You can even use cookie cutters here. If you're good with freehand, you can roll out and freehand a design. You can use a stamp. If you have those, ink stamps, you can stamp right into clay and then just use a knife and go around that. I've done that before in a couple of other videos. So just keep it inexpensive. You don't need to go out and buy a whole bunch of new things. Use something that you have in your stash. And I am just going to press this air dry clay into the mold. I prefer to do it in bits and pieces. I think it's easier than trying to do it all at one, especially with this mold. This mold is a little more finicky than most. And of course, I did use some cornstarch in advance of this because I wanted to make sure it would pop right out. And so you're just going to lay that out whatever way is pleasing to your eye and manipulate that while it is still wet. Once you like the design that you have, then you can take some glue. Any glue does. I'm just going to use school glue here. And so it will just adhere that right to the metal and then let that dry. Before it dries, I like to take a paintbrush and wet it and get any overspill of the glue first and foremost. But I also like to wet a paintbrush and go over every area that either has a rough edge or that I had put together like in the two pieces to make sure that that is not going to crack when it dries, because that tends to be the place that it will crack if it's going to crack. And then once I get the whole thing cleaned up, then I am going to paint over this. Now, you could spray this. You could brush any kind of paint over the top of this. It takes many paints well. I happen to have that white chalk paint out in front of me, so I decide that I am just going to pounce with a brush kind of gently because this isn't completely dry. I like to paint it while it's still a little bit wet because I think it does help with the cracking. If you let it completely dry, sometimes it does crack. And if that happens, you can either use a little Elmer's glue or you can use a little bit of the clay and you can fill in any cracks, especially if you really care. Sometimes it's not a big deal and doesn't look so bad, so you can just paint right over it. But once I have one good coat of this chalk paint on and dry, I realize that the red is going to bleed through. I had that thought and I should have sprayed a clear poly coat before I painted it. So if you ever get any bleed through, you can either use shellac or a poly coat and spray that or wipe that on, let that dry, and then go ahead and give it another coat. And so I actually ended up taking a spray chalk paint outside and use that. I had picked this up at 30 or 40% off at Ollie, so I think it was $3.50 for this Magnolia Home spray paint. And then once I have that all done, all dry, I'm going to again use the antiquing glaze. Again, this is personal preference. I'm going to test it on the top and see if it is going to be a little bit too dark, and it is a little too dark. So I'm going to pull that back, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the clear wax in. Wax and glaze don't love each other, so you're better off to use wax and wax if you have an antique wax and a clear wax, but I happen to have the glaze out and that's what I'm using, so I'm just going to sort of not really erase it but lighten it here. And I do like to use a glaze, or I certainly could have painted these Lily of the Valley, and I have before. I have another video in the past where I've done this same mold and I painted the the leaves green and the Lily of the Valley's white, and I had a different color backdrop. But in this case, I do want to keep this neutral because of what I'm going to be putting inside of this tin. So I'm going to pull this back just with a paper towel and get the bulk of this antiquing glaze off, and hopefully it will give more of the outline of the florals without being a little bit too much. So again, personal preference. You can use a paintbrush here too. That does help clean it up a little easier sometimes than the paper towel. I did the handle in the back, and then once I have that completely done, I want to fill this. And this, of course, could have any number of things in it, but I happen to have a very lovely floral that I want to use. So I'm just going to take some floral foam and cut that to fit inside this funny shape of the envelope. And then once I have that filled with the floral foam, I am going to add some florals. Now, I had picked up this big bunch, I think at the Goodwill bin, so it probably cost me 25 or 50 cents. Whenever I see them and they look decent at the Goodwill bins, I pick them up because florals can run you into some money. So I like to keep this as inexpensive as possible. I do not sell my items, and so because of that, I like to try to keep this stuff really frugal. So I'm giving this filler. Mostly this is just going to be a green and white because I want this gorgeous lily of the valley floral that I've had for a few years in my stash, and I want to have that be the star of this beautiful little planter since we have that lily of the valley in the mold. So I'm going to put 3. It's good to work with uneven numbers here when you do floral, so I'm doing 3 good pieces in to fill it, and then I'm using 5 of the lily of the valley here and there, and then just spacing that out. And then I go back through my stash to see what else I might have, and I just pick 3 little bunches of another white pom-pom style floral here to just fill that in. Now, I had this green moss from my yard, I believe, from a project that I had used, and once I pulled it all apart after the season, I just kept it dry, and it kept its beautiful green color. So if I live in New England, so depending on where you live, you might be able to just get your own moss. So filling that in. And then as a little extra touch, I thought I'd like to make a tag. Now, always save your clothing tags because they're already have the one-hole punch. They already have a nice cardboard backing. Some of them are quite lovely. So rather than have to buy this stuff, just go ahead and cut that down. I went on to Canva. I looked up Lily of the Valley. They had a pretty little graphic of a Lily of the Valley edging, so I'm just going to go ahead and attach that to the tag. I grabbed what I thought was a brown marker, and turns out it was a purple marker. So I went ahead and put Lily of the Valley on the tag, and then I will change that. I unfortunately do not have a brown marker. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter, so I'm lucky to have any markers. But I'm going to just Mod Podge this right on over the tag and have that be my base. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of ink around the edges, a little distressing there to make this also have a little bit of age to it. And then I am going to change that lettering. I did have something that was more of a goldy color, so not amazing, but went over the purple because I really did not like the purple with this. And then I have a lovely green ribbon, so I am just going to take this pretty green velvet ribbon. I'm going to tie this little tag on the corner, and you could absolutely put some other things in here. You could use colors, obviously colored florals. You could put a pick with a little bunny. You could add a nest and a bird, or a nest and some eggs. You could really decorate this with any number of things. But for here, I'm just going to put this little tag on it, and I have it, the chest here that has the television on top of it in my living room, has a little bit of a garden started on the floor beside it with this pretty green I'm not sure what this would be, a crate, I guess, or a small bookcase out of a box that I thought was really adorable. And so I just hung it here just to give you an idea. And then I also put it in my entryway with a little bit too much. I have a lot going on because it is time for me to move some of this stuff out, and the good table at my dump is not open for the summer, so I'm really hoping they will open soon so that we can eliminate. But also I give a lot of stuff away, and I also give it to the church so they can sell it and make money for whatever the church that I go to is trying to make money, the school or the kids or what have you. So I try to get that done 3 or 4 times a year. So right now I'm a little overwhelmed with stuff, but that gives you an idea of where that is. And then that takes me on to the last 2, which are both metal buckets. I had these galvanized buckets in my stash. I know you can get these at the Dollar Tree. You can get these at a thrift store. You can get these in a lot of places. And I lost the footage of myself painting this with a green latex paint. But I last week had done a basket. So if you saw last week's video, you saw the picnic basket with the birds on it. And I decided that I wanted to use these with it in my craft room. So I'm using that same sage green. I think it's called Silver Sage. And I am just going to go ahead and keep the galvanized metal inside and on the handles and the top edge, and paint everything else in that pretty green. Then once I have that finished, I realized when I was cleaning this that it had a strange bump on the metal, and I thought it was so odd because galvanized is pretty flat, and then realized it was a piece of tape. So I peel the tape off and go ahead and paint over that so that I don't have that strange bump when I am finished. Now, then I am going to set this aside and let that thoroughly dry. And then I'm going to pull out the same bird transfer that I had used on that basket. And while I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm going to do the same thing to this smaller bucket. Looks like it came from a hardware store. I got it free on the good table at my dump, but I'm going to give it the same green paint and keep the galvanized inside and the galvanized handle. And now I'm taking that pretty, this particular transfer is a Prima redesign, and it is many years old, and it has to be used up because it is becoming very difficult to transfer. Now, it does help if you will spray a clear coat of poly over your paint, let it dry thoroughly, and then add the transfer. That usually works a whole lot better, but even that was very difficult for me. So I know I absolutely have to just finish this. And after these 2 projects, I only have one very small piece. So that's good. I don't want to waste it, and I do love it. It is the cutest little thing. So I'm piecing some bits and pieces here to make it look like it flows together. And so once I have that finished on the one bucket, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing on the second bucket, and I am not going to make you watch. So once you're done with that, you want to burnish that down either with your hand or with the plastic that it comes with, and make sure that's good and adhered. Now you can cover that either with a clear coat, wax, any poly. You can spray it. You can do whatever you want to coat over these to make sure that they stay for years to come. Most often, if it's just for myself in my own home, I don't even bother with that if I'm not going to wax it. So I didn't bother in this case because it's not going to have any heavy wear or tear. And so if you missed last week's video, that was one of the items, that basket that I made, and there were several others if you want to check that out. And then here it is in my craft room. Right now, I just put some florals and a bunch of wood just to kind of throw something in there to give you an idea of how that looks. Much better than just a plain old metal galvanized little bucket. So that is the 4 metal easy to thrift DIY projects that I have made for you this week. And I would love to know if you have a favorite. And I am going to be moving on to something that is not green in my next video. Make sure you're subscribed. 2 of my friends told me that they had been unsubscribed somehow, so double check that. I don't know why that is, but sometimes that happens. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.